One thing that was interesting last year is Allergy Partners was in crisis. We had to figure out a solution to a problem. So we have this process for our patient service representatives, and they use this Excel sheet to make things happen. They have to pull in contract information, they have to pull in patient data, and they have to pull in numbers about deductibles and out-of-pocket and all these things to be able to generate a rough estimate about what services are going to cost for patients. And while that worked for us for a while in the past because we didn't know anything different, it was really hard to keep up with that. As technology moved forward, we didn't want to stay in the past. So we had moved our services from on-prem Microsoft to more cloud-based, and realized that our current process just didn't work well. So we managed to reach out to our Microsoft rep. We wanted to know what are our options here? Is there something, a service, a company, something that can help us make something futuristic and modern? And we were given the partner name of Imperium Dynamics, which we got a chance to interview and kind of state our test case and see what Imperium came back with. So Imperium helped us imagine the future state of what we could have. We were really not sure about how we could go from where we were to where we are now, and Imperium laid it out very easily for us. They said, this is our idea, this is our plan, this is the resources and tools we have, and that's where we're introduced to the Power Platform. So the Imperium Health Cloud, first and foremost, gave us the base of what the future was going to look like for how we could manage the data. The biggest part was keeping track of future estimates, future patient information, and being able to go back and look through, be able to report on it. So the Imperium Health Cloud was the base core that allowed us to start building. It was like the building blocks before we got to our specific project. That meant that we could understand what we could also take this to past the estimator. It gave us an idea of what future projects could look like. The difference that it made for our business is it allowed us to feel like we could take this process into the future and work on something more modern and easier to use. The process, as mentioned before, was very just outdated, it was old, it was hard, and it was a lot of work for the staff to have to re-enter the same information over and over again every time they needed an estimate. We had multiple departments and stakeholders that were impacted by this process. The very first was our front lines of support, our clinic staff, our patient service representatives. They are the ones that are having to deal with this, first and foremost. And as you kind of move up into the support center world, which is what we call our corporate office, we had a lot of different areas. So you have, for instance, our revenue cycle team, they're worried about the bills coming in and things getting paid. We had our IT team who was dealing with technical challenges and outdated software and processes. And we also had our operations team who was worried about the fact that this was a big weight on the staff trying to produce, an estimate or just produce something for the patient. So we did have a lot of large areas, large departments affected and worried about this whole process. What made me the happiest about using IHC for interoperability options is the fact that right away I could see the dream of what interoperability was kind of come to life in IHC. So I've kind of talked a lot to different people about, we talk about the core of something. So the core of IHC, for instance, has the areas of past medical history, current medical history, your problems, your meds, your allergies, your care team, your contacts, the people, not just contacts like your mother, father, it's who's your primary care, who's your specialist for radiology or cardiology, things like that. And what I like about it is that now it doesn't matter where that information comes from, you can bring it into the system. You know where it's coming from, what system it's coming from, and you can pull the things together and make a complete health record. That's the biggest thing, is you can pull everything, make it more complete. Feels really good. So our future steps are to, again, sort of reevaluate what is priority for us and how we're going to take Power Platform forward. Looking at different departments, looking at our field, seeing where the biggest struggle is and where the quick wins are going to be, so we can take, I'm sure there's going to be 10 options right off the bat, take those, prioritize them, and start working through and starting to show the value to more than just a few folks, in the organization, just show them the value of Power Platform.